So.
Can you hear us, Denise?
Yeah. Pretty much, actually.
I can hear you. Thank you.
It's gonna be kind of thin. 'Cause I'm
She's
busy,
frozen.
but
Denise, you're frozen in time.
you can only do.
There you
There you
go.
are.
Just do what I
I
can.
am.
We see you now.
So I work in contracting. So I'm
Starbucks.
I'm on the
Starbucks went
construction
on strike.
Management team. So
Starbucks strike on ComEd comes to an end.
Starbucks went on.
Starbucks, no
Okay.
contract, no coffee.
That's why I have a
They're
headache.
unionized. That's it, that caused your headache. It's all related to the big picture.
I went to the test school. It was like a 7 8 week class.
No, looking at advertisement.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that was nice.
I always knew this guy.
No.
San Antonio's nice.
Bad news.
Yeah, you're never left.
It's a lot- It could be a lot worse. It's like-
Yeah.
I
That's
had
your second trip
children.
done.
I got you. Depending on who you ask, it
Yeah.
fell off.
So obviously basic training was there and then.
Oh.
It's a lot nicer going back down again the second time. So.
It's a short one, right?
Looks like.
Small flag there.
Hey, I gotta go home and watch The Rings of Power, man. There's new, like, Lord of the Rings crap out there.
Yeah, what do you think about that? Is it good?
It's okay, it's a little slow, but I think slow is good. I think American TV is becoming a little too fast for me, which is why I like Icelandic TV. Sweeping vistas, slow dialogue, no car chases,
There you go.
great characters.
Good, how are you?
It's good.
Third career field, so I've gone through.
Great.
So what was your first?
I was in air crew fighter for
Oh my God, there's a seal standing in the
And I
pond.
switched to Intel when I moved to the East Coast on that board and I
That was
transferred to
one
PC.
of months of what.
I did Intel.
And I hot spotted on
That was in San Angelo, so
If you go in as a gas.
good fellow.
Yeah, I'm gonna table the minutes. I haven't read them.
think they
Flying
fly
in there anymore. but
it's funny that.
It's like where the fire dogs go.
They just were the votes. And I said,
I
there's
got
no
moved
other
ahead.
of what we actually.
So-
I
He
gotta
said-
have a video to back.
Yeah.
He said.
Why did I miss that?
Well, but.
It used to be, it used to be, and then,
Right.
like we used to have
So
Terry
Amy is going
and
into much
Marines
more
that
detail.
are really kind of school, or for a portion of it anyway. But then they kind of separate, they're still, the Marines are still there, they do it there, but they have their own separate curriculum.
Starbucks.
And then Army people do it.
Right.
But the contracting one was joint, so there was, we had
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
3 Marines in
our
our,
new
in
economic
our
development
class when I was
is
through.
going to be on the video tonight. So when you introduce the board, you want to, her name is Denise Lovett. And she's on, yep, she's online now. So I can introduce her or you can introduce her either way. Denise,
Hi.
Wow.
this is Greg Zinser, our
Didn't
chair
see
for the
myself.
planning board.
Hi Denise, how are you?
Our vice chair, Hershey Hirschkopf, Zach Noble, Bernal Bailey, and Bill Cole, planning board members.
Nice to meet you all.
Oh.
I'm Denise Clavette, and Greg, I think we worked together when I was working for the Mid-Coast Regional Redevelopment Authority, and I remember you from there and on the board. And yeah, good to see you again.
Of the Southern Maine, Denise.
Pardon?
Of the Southern Maine.
Exactly. So glad to be on board. Looking forward to working with you folks. And Tammy and I have already begun a lot of conversations and looking forward to being on the assist and helping in whatever way that I can.
Good, happy to have you here
Thank you.
for the town. I think.
Is it full time?
Yep.
Great. Is that coming out of our two? Good.
And the redevelopment of town in general.
We
City
need an
development,
underpass
that kind
right
of
through
stuff.
town. All that traffic, underpass, the big dig,
Great.
the little dig, right?
She's listening. Tell her.
Right. Denise, we need an underpass through town.
The little dig.
17,000
I like that.
cars at rush
I'll
hour.
add that to the list.
Big dig. Yes. No, it's ugly. Under. Let's go under. Right through town. Be great.
There was an overpass years ago.
Really?
Jay was telling me about it years and
Where?
years and years
In
ago.
downtown?
We tried looking for the stuff, but we couldn't find it. Yeah,
No kidding.
Someone was thinking ahead.
Pedestrian safety.
So we got what, one more minute?
It's 7:01.
Oh, you got 7:01?
I do.
All right,
Me too.
well, let's call the meeting to
All
order.
right.
We'll rise for the pledge of allegiance, please. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Good evening, everybody. This is the regular meeting of the planning board. We'll go around the room really quick, starting with my right here to introduce the planning board member.
So you gotta say something so I can get up on the.
Oh,
There we
yeah, yeah.
We're now Bailey.
Greg Zinser.
Hershey Hirschkopf.
Zach Noble.
Thank you
Tammy
very,
Bellman.
oh, yes.
Jenny McCabe.
Amy Aker.
All right,
Sorry.
thank you. No problem. Thank you very much. So folks, it's a kind of a good meeting, tonight, it doesn't really look like we have a lot on our agenda. So with that being said, I'll ask for public comment. There is no one here. Is there anybody that wants to say anything from the public? And I'll go to Zoom. Is there anybody on Zoom that would like to make any comments to the planning board?
Is your wife listening?
No. I haven't seen her since, 6 o'clock this morning. So,
No.
Your face.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, she won't-
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so seeing no public comment, why don't we move on? And I'll ask for approval of the meeting minutes. Has anybody had a chance to review them? I have not. So.
I looked at it at the last minute.
I'm gonna ask for a motion to table the minutes until the next meeting, just so I can take a minute to, I'd like to review them before
Do we need a
they're.
motion for that?
So I will send you the revised, because Zach noticed a couple of errors.
Perfect, so
So
that
I
works
will
out
send
well.
you the revised.
Yeah.
Um,
That's fine, so that works out well. So is there a motion to
That's
table?
okay.
I motion that we table approval of meeting
All
minutes
right.
for September
Second.
21st.
Okay, and I'm gonna just ask, it's no roll call votes tonight because we're all in person, all in favor of tabling?
Aye.
Okay, unanimous, thank you very much. First item of new business. So Tammy, several meetings ago, you said we're gonna have to, you need a few minutes to kind of go back and review something, a process that we started in the past
Yeah.
regarding the 14077. So I'm just gonna hand it right over to you.
Super, thank you. When I started and got up and rolling, I found a couple things sitting on the computer. The site plan review ordinance, you folks had done back in December, I believe was the date on it. End of November, first part of December, should have gone up to the town. But it did not go up that way. So now that you have a town planner, because the town council has not received this document yet, I would like to get with Denise to take and review this to ensure that we've got the best possible site plan ordinance we can do. So there are a couple of changes that I noticed in the course of reading this, where the code enforcement office and the town planner are now two separate positions within the town of South Berwick. So that's one of the key places that I would like to target when I look at it. And when I talked to Denise about it, she's read it and said, Tammy, there are so many things we could do and make this so much better. I said, good, I will ask that they give me the opportunity to do that for the site plan review ordinance.
I'm okay with it. I think one of the reasons that I go back and look at this, just as kind of a reminder, this has to do with the notification to the abutters.
That
And
was
so
the
that was-
biggest piece.
Yeah, and so that was authorized under a prior board.
Yep.
And so, it's here. I think we had a very brief and minor conversation about it in one of our own meetings, maybe a couple months ago. And yeah, I think it just kind of fell through the cracks. I would, happy to have any comments, but where it's technically fallen through the cracks at this point, the town council doesn't have it.
Correct.
And
They
our
haven't
only,
even seen.
yeah, and our only concern at that point was the butter notification.
Yep.
I'm okay if town staff wants to take another perusal and offer some added suggestions here, with, especially with the background of the individuals that will be weighing in here. I'm perfectly fine there's other ways we can make this better. So that's fine. That's just me.
I agree with Rick.
Super, thank you.
Yep. So, you know, I would say come back to us when you are ready to move on.
It'll probably be a month or so.
That's fine.
Because Denise is still getting her feet
Yep.
wet, but it's gonna be on the top of my list of one of the ordinances that I would like to see reworked. So
Sure.
it brings it up into the 21st century.
Yeah, there's a lot of those.
You sure you want to go, maybe we should go a century at a time. Maybe it's too fast for us.
All right, so the next item on the agenda, the MMA Planning Board Workshop. I'm not sure if anyone here actually attended that. I never,
Yes,
your issue, you did?
that
Okay,
did.
so,
Amy
Yes.
and I did.
yeah, good, okay. So here is just kind of an overview. I don't know who in particular wants to give us that overview on that. And I would ask any board member if they want to do that first. If not, we can defer to staff.
I haven't looked at the site in
Okay.
a while, so I may
Tammy.
defer.
When I wanted to become a planner, the first thing I did was attend a workshop with MMA regarding planning boards and zoning boards of appeals. This workshop that we attended the end of August. There have been a lot of changes that have come through with zoning ordinances, with state requirements. And this right here, this little packet gives you a lot of the information that has changed. We found out at the meeting that night that you know how picky I get with the findings of facts and making sure the minutes and everything are so detailed. Come to find out, our requirements for keeping video meetings is only 3 years now. It's not perpetuity. So hence, those minutes that I get very detailed on are to the benefit of the applicants and the town. Simply because if somebody doesn't realize that they really need to hang on to the videos, even though they don't have to, that's something that will come in handy when none of us are on the boards anymore. So that when they want to come back and make a change to whatever project they had come before the planning board, that's the way it should be.
And you know, that was a noticeable difference in that our minutes used to be quite brief. And in fact, Joe used to say it just had to be the votes and that was it. And you could never go back and understand what actually happened at the planning board meeting.
Correct.
So, and I noticed Amy's latest minutes were very detailed and I liked that. And
Yeah.
having a whole discussion like that. That's
Yeah.
good. That's good.
And that also comes from a prior job that I had to go back to 1914 and read the handwritten notes. Remember the big books that were
Mhm.
bound
Yeah.
and, oh yeah. Yeah, so that was quite interesting. You knew people had to do penmanship in school. when you had those. So that's one of the big things. And I also want to take and get you a copy of some of the attachments that came with this, so that you will have a better understanding of how they're encouraging planning boards to do what they need to do for their community members. And when you take and look and take and read these, you'll understand now why some of the information I ask our applicants to provide
Mhm.
will assist them once they are before you. And hence, when it comes to making a decision, you have more information to be able to make and follow the ordinance.
Streamline the process.
Yeah. Yeah.
Very good.
Now, this does also include some of the information for the zoning board of appeals. So that most of it will be for the planning board, but they do talk about going to the zoning board for an appeal of an applicant. So if you have questions, you can
Yeah.
always shoot me an email on it.
Did they actually record the training by any chance? And can you watch it then?
No, I don't believe they did.
You want to go, I'll go get it.
Yeah,
I think I
actually-
went to one several years ago, but things, like you say, things change. So just keep us posted. if
And
there's-
there are two new members, two new attorneys at MMA that are now doing them, so it's a total different outlook on it. Same information, but they're presenting it a different way, so, I mean, Zach didn't fall asleep on us when he went, so.
Was the lunch good? Yeah.
Actually,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
pretty good.
Ooh,
That's
free
the
lunch,
important thing.
yeah.
That's why we go.
Yeah, but you could see a lot of people kind of sitting and every once in a while they'd lean one way, but, and I want to congratulate this board because when they got to the findings of facts portion of the workshop, we all kind of looked at one another when people said, oh, we have to do findings of facts.
Yeah.
That was pretty interesting. Yeah, there were two tables that obviously had not done that before and they didn't know the work. Yeah,
Really?
yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Sure, for now.
So you're gonna cover any highlights or anything here through this, or is this just for our?
That's for your
reference
review.
For when?
Going forward, just if in case you have a question or anything, or if you would, after reading this, if you would really like to attend a workshop, we can always get you signed up to be able to attend one, or if I can find out whether or not they have videotaped any of them, we'll try and get a copy of that, so we can show it either at a workshop or we can take the,
Take it home and take a nap.
yeah,
Okay.
so.
Sounds good.
How often do we have?
Every couple of months,
8 to 12 weeks.
Yeah.
8 to 12 weeks.
yeah, I think there's one in October, but that's up in Bar Harbor, so.
That's okay.
And there's
I
usually
like Bar Harbor.
one in November or December in the Portland area. They try to keep on it so they cover the whole state, so, I mean, Bar Harbor would be gorgeous. I'll take, when I come in on Tuesday, I'll take and send you all the information on that one.
Okay, any comments? Okay, now why don't we move on to old business? I'm going to emphasize the word final. Final draft consideration of revision 6 to the solar farm ordinance. You know, this would be the culmination of a lot of conversation, a lot of work. I'm hoping that we don't have any further comments tonight. We had some conversation at our last meeting referencing the definition, which is on page 7 of 8 in the document for us. And so I believe we captured everything. I believe we did vote on that, and that is captured here.
Yeah,
So
I forgot one word
Oh.
when I sent it out the first time. So the word have been met was forgotten on the first version you got. So,
okay, well,
but it is there now.
right there now, look at that, loaded in. So barring any additional conversation, I would ask for a motion to accept this and pass it on to the town council with one request. Could we just make sure we have a footer put in or a header approved by the planning board with the date? So that way we don't lose track of when it goes there, what document we're looking at.
Yep.
And then, you know, a brief transmittal letter to the council as well.
I make a motion to accept the zoning ordinance amendment, proposal of 140-67.2 performance standards for solar farms to send to town council.
Do I have a second?
Second,
Been moved and seconded. Is there any further conversation? Seeing no further conversation, I'll take a vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, all right, that motion passes unanimous. And so, Tammy, we just again put that footer in there, identifying the date of the document that it comes from us and the transmittal letter, and we'll send that off to the town council and go from there. So great work, everybody. This is a nice thing to have off our agenda. And hopefully the council won't send it back.
you could put that caveat there, you're not allowed to send it back.
Yeah, not allowed to send it back, sure. So that'll be good. So that concludes the old business. Are there any member comments? Any members here have any comments, anything they want to talk about, anything they want to know or see on future agendas? Yeah, Phil.
My one question is, there was a discussion of having you, Greg, and you, Hershey, be a part of a joint team with the town council. Is that taken off yet? or is-
No, so
Okay.
actually, that was a little note I wrote to myself. remember several meetings ago, we were talking about when we were at the town hall basement. We had talked about, it was the LD 2003 and the LID ordinance and the comp plan. And we were under some timelines to get this going. And we made a motion essentially to approach the council, whether they want to do anything with it is their own issue. But Greg and Hershey, well, we were appointed to say, hey, we will work with the town council in a joint manner. Obviously, we still have to do our respective processes, but to try to increase the communication regarding the development of all those ordinances. So can we draft up a letter or an email, probably a letter, a memo, and I can do that too. You don't have it. I mean, I can grab something if you would prefer. I'd come from me. And we send that to the council to get that on their next agenda so that it doesn't fall through the cracks. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point. Because every time we wait, it's another meeting.
That was actually one of the things they brought up in the session. Just a brief update on affordable housing.
Oh, yeah.
It was a short section of that.
Yeah, we're
There's
still
questions out
waiting
there
for
for many.
guidance, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, that
It
was
was good
good.
that we're trying to be proactive.
Yeah, no, I try to get on top of that. Yes, it comes up quick. I have a few comments. There's a new agenda.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's see here. I did attend just the town council meeting because there was the medical marijuana, now it's cannabis, the caregiver licensing that we've all been involved in. And so the town council has moved that to a November 1st or 2nd.
First.
Okay, workshop, where I believe, not the council, that they're going to be focusing on the licensing. That's been subject of conversation for a while. So we are welcome to attend, but not required to attend.
Correct.
But I figured I'd throw that out there because again, I went to it just as an interested party. So that would be November 1st. And I'm not entirely sure what time they would hold that, 6:30. And again, I think it's primarily a council workshop, but again, we are invited, should we choose to be there.
They would like the planning board
Yeah.
there so they could see, because the town council sent it over to Jenny and I to also review. So we want to make sure that none of your major changes have gone through or been changed.
What day is it?
November 1st.
Should be a Tuesday, I believe. So it's one of their off weeks, one of our off weeks, I believe, possibly.
And then just a reminder, our next meeting, I think is it October 5th? What's the day?
Yes,
Yeah.
it is.
Now, I remember we have a site plan walk.
Site walk, yeah.
A site walk at 8 o'clock in the morning.
I
And this is the one off of Hooper Sands.
Great Hill.
Great Hill, Great Hill. Yeah,
The-
okay,
the
yeah.
5 lot subdivision.
And so that again is 8 o'clock on October 5th on site, Great Hill Road. You take a left off Hooper Sands or right and just go right over the hill down to the bottom of the hill. It's right there. Yeah,
can I just say,
Sure.
I won't be here for this. It is the day of Yom Kippur,
okay.
which is unfortunate for us, but I'll also be in San Francisco.
So that's a reminder, 8 a.m. on the 5th. And I think that night as well, we're scheduling a public hearing for that particular subdivision.
This is the one with the
The
water.
5 lot, the water
Okay.
issue that we required them to do the water
Yep.
hookup after much conversation. Okay, that's it for my comments. Any staff comments? Okay, is there a motion to adjourn?
I motion we adjourn.
This is
Moved and seconded, and all in favor? Okay,
Who
all
seconded it?
right,
Who
we
seconded
are
it?
adjourned.
All right.
Okay, hang on.
Hold on.
Can I draw a little smiley face? Can you see the little eyes and the nose? Can we just make a little,
Looks like Wally.
it's like a